I had always planned to slow down. The goal was 2020. I was just gonna quit, and that's what happened. I quit, pretty much. I only get it for free now. But I think around 2019 or 2020, I kind of stopped buying marijuana or whatever. But from like 2012 to 2017 or whatever, I was buying like tons of it before it got legalized or whatever. And even though the Canadians got tons of marijuana and we got all this marijuana and stuff, it's still highly valuable to others that haven't tried it or smoked it, ones from other countries. It might be seen as super highly valuable, like where it's illegal if people come up from an illegal state or whatever and they want to try out Canadian marijuana. In their eyes, it's going to be such more highly valuable than how you see it. So you got to be very careful. You might be like, the marijuana in your eyes and your mind might be like almost nothing and it's just laying out or whatever. But to another person that's dealt with much more stringent laws and have seen really horrible atrocities happen with the war on drugs and stuff, they might try to rob you or and stuff. So you got to be very careful or whatever with it, because it is still highly valuable, even though you made your investment years ago. And it's not seen as, it's just like marijuana now to you. Oh, you just got a little weed, right? But when you're selling it or whatever, you got to be very careful or whatever, and that's why we have the certain systems or whatever in place. The truth is, when it was illegal, I was buying tons of weed to increase the market, you know, get everyone in it or whatever. And then once I got it legalized with Justin or whatever, I kind of cut down from buying it or whatever. I only smoke homegrown stuff or whatever, or if it's free. I try not to spend any more money on marijuana now. That was last decade. I'm trying to like save my money for the next decade or this decade and try not to spend any money on marijuana. I did that last decade. Increased the market value of it, got everyone growing it or whatever, because I loved it. And in the beginning, when I first came to Canada, it was hard to get. I had to work a bunch of dealers or whatever, start paying them good money, even extra money to start growing more and stuff like that. And then I heard about Justin, and he had a plan to legalize, and I told him it was a good plan and everything. And I invested a lot of money into it, but now I'm kind of cutting back on it. That's why now they want to legalize their own marijuana down in the United States federally or whatever. Or not federally, but I think he's going to do it state by state. So they have it down there and they don't have to come up to Canada or whatever, or go to Amsterdam or whatever. If Joe can figure that out and Kamala, that would be good. And so if they legalize down there in the United States, there won't be as much of a hunger for the marijuana, as it's fully legalized in Canada, and you're allowed to grow up to 4 plants. Something in Florida where if you were to grow 4 plants, it would be seen as a highly illegal grow operation. You would have your house raided, and you would be sent to prison. I know a person or whatever that went to prison for about 4 plants. In Florida, they raided his house. Stark police or whatever. I'd say about 8 or 9 agents or officers or whatever kicked down the door or whatever, took all his plants or whatever. But in Canada, it's fully legalized. But we only have the little man-made border or whatever that divides us or whatever, and people can get easily across it or whatever. And then they want to steal the marijuana and bring it back down south where it's priced at a high value. So if they come up north or whatever and they steal or somehow manage to rob or whatever, a couple pounds or whatever, they're looking at possibly even like $3,000 to $5,000 a pound down there. And or a little less, or even to New York or whatever. And then that's how some of the criminals are making money or whatever. They're stealing weed from Canada and they're going down south with it.